Thanks. Senatorial 2023, after the parties having quarrels with the system, have 72 hours to file in their petitions. And Cameroonians on the red alert as bandits have derived new means of attacking buses on the highway. Those were our top stories. Thanks and welcome. Hook up with us on our social media platform, on YouTube, and of course on our Facebook page. Now we flag up with this news on insecurity that is rising on the major highways across Cameroon, and the recent one is that of bus organized transport agencies that have been attacked constantly by men of the underworld. They use very tricky ways to make sure they submit their booty to attack. Now let's get the reaction of transport bosses on this insecurity as we hear from Morindi.
Yesterday night, out of Douala, something happened. Some bandits were throwing stones to the vehicles along the roads of linking Douala to Edea. And that happened around 9 p.m. Unfortunately, the information came to us around 11 p.m. And immediately, the coalition and the delegate in charge of with the elements on the field alongside the companies of Edea. So when they reached there, 4 people have been caught. They are in exploitations at the level of Edea today. But I am pleading the populations of that area to help us to give information on time. That's why I'm asking all the 4 senior general officers to make some meetings with the chiefs along these roads linking Douala to Konsamba, Douala to Edea and Puma, so that we have to be very careful for what is going on with this new phenomenon of throwing stones to the vehicles.
Lieutenant Governor Samuel Dudley Ifadiba talking there after the very unfortunate situation on the attack of buses. The Minister of Territorial Administration, Paul Atanganji, has reacted on the conduct of yesterday's senatorial election in Cameroon. In fact, immediately after the elections or the polls were closed, Minister Paul Atanganji actually granted a press conference on the conduct of the polls. Our chief correspondent in Yaoundé is Patrice Ngamo, who now gives us an excerpt of yesterday's press conference.
Generally, the senatorial election took place this Sunday in a peaceful and serene atmosphere in all the electoral constituencies. More than 3,000 national and international observers were accredited by the Ministry of Territorial Administration. They travel across the country, and we hope that they will produce objective reports on the conduct of this election, which in our opinion was free, transparent, and credible. As government agent in the electoral process, the Minister of Territorial Administration took appropriate measures to provide elections Cameroon with the security framework needed for a smooth running of the polls. As for now, no country likely to affect the credibility of the results when they shall be proclaimed by the competent institution. I call on all political parties that ran for this election to wait for the official results and welcome them in a spirit of fair play and political maturity.
Well, that was Atangaji report, talking there after the polls closed. And in the same vein, gender-based activists have again expressed indignation on the absence of women during the polls. And according to some of them, it is as a result of a fallacy in the electoral system. Let's get to your action. Morindi.
The March 12 senatorial elections at the Lone Center of Warri, which was Lisejo, saw the presence of women councillors and regional councillors exercising their civic duty.
I'm a councillor, I have to vote because in 2020, those population gave us the mandate to be in the council, and now today I have to perform my own duties as a councillor and to vote.
But how involved and representative are the women in the entire electoral process? These not living out their representation in key positions in political parties.
In those political parties, you're having only men who have been pushing and women are going back. And they have to invest more women so that we can have an institution or Senate or Parliament who are so representative, and we have even parities with women and men.
Chantal Kambiwa is heading a group of independent observers under the NGO Servitas. She casts a bird's eye view on the gender aspect of the election.
We observe that people who doesn't know how to vote, most of them are women. They doesn't know the information on that card. Also, the language used to guide them by the people in the police station is not appropriate. As for example, they want to guide people, they say, just put the other ballot paper in the sac à rebut.
According to Chantal Kambiwa, women were not sufficiently sensitized on their voting rights.
When they reach in the hall, they are being guided by other people. And this is not very correct because you don't know what they can tell them.
From female municipal councillors to regional councillors, they all cast their votes. Most of them told us they made the right choice that could bring changes at the level of the Senate.
Thanks, Maureen. And of course, after the polls close and as the results are being computed, now our Cameroonians want to know what's going to be next, as political parties have just 72 hours to file in their petitions if at all they have any electoral worries. Hyacinth Chair comes back to that.
With the voting exercise of the senatorial polls now over and the counting dusted, the electoral process moves to the next stage. The votes and reports from the polling stations and voting centers from the 58 divisions of the country will be submitted to the regional branches of Elections Cameroon and another to the Regional Supervisory Commission. The commission, headed by a magistrate of the Court of Appeal, according to Section 237, Sub 1 of the Electoral Code, shall centralize, ensure the counting and verification of vote counting operations on the basis forwarded by the polling stations. The Regional Supervisory Commission shall in no occasion cancel or modify any of such field reports, but will rather mention all the cases of inconsistencies or doubt on the fairness of the elections operations and forward such report, together with its observations, to the National Final Vote Counting Commission. The counting of votes at the national level shall be conducted in accordance with the provisions of Section 68 and 69 of the Electoral Law. And with the counting verified at each level, only the Constitutional Council has the legal right to proclaim the result within 15 days after the closure of the polls as stipulated by Section 240, Sub 1 of the Electoral Code.
Thanks very much, Hyacinth. And of course, all the Cameroonians have ears on the ground to wait for that moment. And we talk science and technology as young Cameroonians are breaking the ground, or breaking through in new areas of discovery. Here we are talking about domotics sciences, and domotics will help in every aspect of security in homes. Now let's get this discovery in the following report.
With the voting exercise of the senatorial polls now over and the counting dusted, the electoral process moves to the next stage. The votes and reports from the polling stations and voting centers from the 358 divisions of the country will be submitted to the regional branches of Elections Cameroon and another to the Regional Supervisory Commission. The commission, headed by a magistrate of the Court of Appeal, according to Section 237, Sub 1 of the Electoral Code, shall centralize, ensure the counting and verification of vote counting operations on the basis forwarded by the polling stations. The Regional Supervisory Commission shall in no occasion cancel or modify any of such field reports, but will rather mention all the cases of inconsistencies or doubt on the fairness of the elections operations and forward such report together with its observations to the National Final Vote Counting Commission. The counting of votes at the national level shall be conducted in accordance with the provisions of Section 68 and 69 of the Electoral Law. And with the counting verified at each level, only the Constitutional Council has the legal right to proclaim the result within 15 days after the closure of the polls as stipulated by Section 240, Sub 1 of the Electoral Code.
Sorry for that mix-up there. Thanks very much, Hyacin. And like was announced, we talk science and technology as young Cameroonians are breaking through in new areas of discovery, amongst them domotic sciences that will help in boosting security in homes. Let's have the details in the following report. With rising security challenges, especially in urban areas, there are innovations on how to tackle the situation with the use of domestic intelligence, otherwise known as domotics. These students are grappling with the home automatic system, which is already making inroads in Cameroon, where the security situation is challenging.
The idea is to bring building automation to Cameroon. We have already made about 8 installations here, and we are convinced that there is a lot of potential for many more, as it brings a lot of advantages. It can also simplify electricity within the building, and by bringing all functions, automation functions of the building in one single system, it can allow to make economies of energy, to automate all kinds of functions and simplify the life of the occupants of the building. It can improve daily life for all these people.
With domotics, just anyone can monitor his or her home from any part of the world, from thieves, children being kidnapped, domestic accidents, and other.
If you produce your energy and you would also have possibility to store the energy, as in a country there are very often breaks of electricity, you can maintain your installations ongoing. For instance, we have simplified a lot the work for the installers. We made here a training for about 10 people during 3 days, which were people that had never touched building automation. And, well, basically after 3 days they were really enthusiastic well, without any basic education in terms of domotic.
These young Cameroonians are already benefiting from experts of home automation ecosystem or domotics application that will permit homes to respond to the needs of the individual. From private residentials to industries, hospitals, hotels, airports, and more, Domotel is bringing forth domotics to help Cameroonians. And we now talk on this very sad news. Film director, producer, actor, and scriptwriter Alphonse Benin exits the stage at the age of 77. Alphonse Benin died yesterday in Yaoundé following an illness, leaving a track record of 30 films. Gamo Beatrice was at his Titi Garage home where the Hollywood actor passed out.
It is far beyond this door, as the camera lays, that Alphonse Benin played his last role, vitiated with sadness. The cinema and culture legend was swept by the resurgence of apostates some few days ago, and Sunday was found dead in his room, leaving his friends and collaborators in profound sadness.
Vous pouvez imaginer ce que ça fait. Hein? Et c'était un monument de la culture, du cinéma particulièrement. Son départ, c'est pas facile de supporter.
This film producer, director, actor, script writer with indelible marks in the world, leaves the stage with over 30 long and short films. Some titles include The Black Ninja, Top Mission, Cameroon Connection, What He Did with Bruce Lee, among many. It is some 20 years back that he returned home, stationed in Douala, where he created a cinema hall, Le Paradis. What he lost in a painful manner, that pushed him to relocate to Yaoundé, where he has been till his end. His long-old collaborators for years now, Michel Kamga, talks of his professionalism and question what will become of the latest baby of Alphonse Béni, still in gestation. Recipient of honorary award in the last Écran Noir Festival, his friend Michel is speechless.
Je crois que c'est une perte incommensurable parce que je ne sais pas si le Cameroun a eu un cinéaste de la trempe de M. Béni.
The friends of this son from Kongsamba thought of pushing for a national recognition for the cinema monument. And still, in his honor, they say, would have been a big encouragement to the youths daring in this seventh art. A cinema legend has left the stage. His story has come to an end. Exit of Alphonse Béni.
Well, thanks. May the soul of our films, Benin, rest in peace. Beatrice Ngamo doing the callings for the 6:15 news. I've been Kejang Henry. I think we're thanking you for being there with us. Coming up will be Mark Lionel Chouamou with The Brief, and the focus is on sports. From all of us, it's goodbye. Meantime, at 7:50, our legislator Kanga will be here for the French version of the news.